Hello, this is the Cobra M46CVX, which is an 18-inch push petrol rotary mower, and this is how it arrives with you in this box. And I'm going to now show you how to put it together. It's really fast, it's really easy. So the first thing we need to do is to open the box, take everything out, and then we can get started. Here it is, all unpacked on the bench, ready to put together. Assembly is very quick, doesn't take long at all. So we obviously got the mower here with the handlebars that are folded down. So we need to do a little bit of assembly with those. So that's what these are for. We've got the oil with it. We've got a spark plug spanner, cable clip, the all-important manual that tells you everything you need to know. So do read it, even though I'm showing you, it's still worth having a look through there. And this is a handle for the grass collection box. So we're going to start with that. And there's also one screw, so they go together. And all you need to provide is a screwdriver, so a crosshead screwdriver. And this is very simple to fit, only takes literally a minute or so. So we've got the handle here. This little lug goes into the slot, and that fits to there. So that is the handle. And then to hold it in position, there is the screw, which is here, which screws up into the hole there. So I'm just going to start that off with my finger, and we can then just tighten that all the way in. So that holds the handle really, really firmly in place. That's now in place. That's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to put that on the floor. The next thing we need to do is to assemble the handlebars. So this one at the moment isn't attached to anything at all. So we've got to make this all joined together. So I'm just going to lay that there like that, and then take these two handles here. So these are the lock-in mechanism when it's all in place. I'm just going to take them apart. So it consists of a bolt, a washer, and the red handle. So we need one for that side and one for this side. So starting with this side, we've got a hole here and we've got a hole here. So what we need to do is to line them up, and we put the bolt from the inside out, and we need to just twist that round, because the top of this bolt has got a curve on it, and it fits the curve of the tubular steel handlebar like that. Then we can get our flat washer on there, and then this is threaded, so we can then just thread that on, just to get it on like that. So really easy to put on. I'm just doing it fairly loose to start with, and then I'm going to repeat the same on this side. So we lock that into position. The washer is very important, and then we can just start that thread going. Once it's on, you can actually twist it round, and it makes it easier. I put them on loose to start with, and now we can make that sort of final adjustment, because the idea is that when we close this, it will lock it. Now that is still loose and wobbly, so what I need to do, maybe twist that a couple more times on the thread. We want it so that you have to put a little bit of pressure on it, and see that just sort of swings round, and that's locked firmly now in place. So we'll do exactly the same with this side. That one is already a little bit too tight, so just slacken it off, and again that holds that firmly in place. So it really, really is very quick to do. So we can now fold the handlebar up. At the base of this here, we've got this little red switch just here, like that. And we need to make sure that the lugs are out. If they're not, we won't be able to put that into position. So it needs to be in that position, and then we can fold that down. And the idea of this is to adjust the height and the position of your handlebars. So if you're tall, you'd have it in that one. If you're not so tall there, if you're in between, in the middle. So let's go in the middle, quarter twist, and it locks into place. So just a wiggle to line them up. So there we can see we've now got it all firmly in place. The cable goes on the inside, so make sure that when you're putting the handlebar assembly together, it goes on the inside. And then just to hold that into place, I've got my one cable clip, just put it over the top, and then clip that into place. So that holds that cable now firmly in place, stops it flapping about or catching when you're mowing around the garden. So next we need to get some fuel and oil in the engine. So we're going to start with the oil here. So we just take the dipstick out. This is just there so to remind you what it is. So dipstick there. You might, when you take it out, think, oh, there's actually oil on there. There is a little bit of oil on it. That's because all the engines are tested in the factory, so there is often just a residue of the oil in there. So I'm just going to wipe that. The oil here is supplied. I've got my funnel to put it in. This engine takes 400 millilitres, 0.4 of a litre. The bottle of oil that they give you is 0.6, so don't make the mistake of putting all this in, because that will potentially damage the engine. And bear in mind there might be a little bit of oil in there as well. So what I like to do, it's got graduations on there, 1 to 6, and they transfer across to this side here where we can see the oil level. So basically pour in a little bit less, dipstick to check it, and then add a bit more if you need it. It's much easier to add more than it is to take it out. So I'm going to put in what we think we need. I think we're not far off, so what I'm going to do is just let that oil run down into the bottom of the sump, get the dipstick and just try that. So clean it always first, put it in and lock it into position. It clicks into position, take it out, and there's the level there, which is where the oil is. So that's absolutely spot on. So that is good to go. So that's the oil in. And then the next thing we need is some petrol in this. We're using unleaded E10 fuel, and remember, always use fresh petrol. You don't want old stale petrol, as it will affect the running of the engine. So nice and fresh. So that goes in here. So we're just going to pour that carefully into there. And then the top firmly on. So we're fueled up, oil and petrol. So what we can do now is lift it down onto the grass, and I'll show you how to start the mower. I'll show you how to start the mower in a second, but before that, just a quick word about the grass collection box. We obviously put the handle on nice and securely there. You'll notice that it's got these little black pieces on here, these little tab things. They're on there for protection when it's in transit, so that these little bits don't damage the cardboard box. So we need to just take those off. If you don't, you can't put it on the back of the mower. And basically what we do is we lift this flap at the back. This is where the grass is blown out into the collection bag, and we're just going to very simply hook it using these two L-shaped pieces there over those silver springs, and then that holds it firmly in place. So it's very easy to take on and off. And you'll notice there's also this little red flap here. You might be wondering what that's for. It's in the manual, of course. This is to tell you when the grass box is full. So when the air is rushing through, blowing the grass clippings into the collection box, that will flap. When it stops, it means it's full and it's time to empty it onto the compost bin or whatever you do with it. So that is that. Up to the handlebars, we have got here this red handle. This is a push mower, so it's not self-propelled. We have to push it, but it's very light and easy to do. But we have to have that pulled back into position before we start it and while we're using it. As soon as we let go of that, that stops the engine. And it's a pull start. This is the pull start here. So rather than bending down to do it, we can fix it to the handlebar. So pull back the red lever and then just very slowly, we're not trying to start it, we're just pulling that back slowly, and then it hooks into that position there. So it means in future we can stand up and pull it like that. So very, very easy to start. So let's start it. This one has a primer, and you'll notice round at the front here we've got this little red primer there. So what we need to do is just pump that 2 or 3 times, and what that does is get some fuel through into the carburetor. Now bearing in mind this has never been started before except for when it's been tested in the factory, so it might take a few pulls, but normally 2 or 3 pumps on a cold engine and it should start first or second pull. A little tip is also just lift the height of cut a little bit so we don't scalp it too much, and then leave a back pull, and away we go. We can do some mowing. So there you have it, super little mower, only takes about 10-15 minutes maximum to assemble, and then you're ready to mow, so enjoy using it around the garden.
Remember to register your Cobra online at cobragarden.co.uk. Always have your Cobra serviced regularly, check the website for your nearest dealer.